In today's video, we're going to get into my June wrap up. I read 10 books in the month of June, and there's one book that did something I did not expect, and I can't wait to tell you about it. My name is Raquel. This is where we come to celebrate and explore Black books. So, the 10 books that I read in the month of June, 6 of those books were new to me authors. I will not talk about them again because there was a video I did last week, but I will go down the list just to let you know what they were. So, the first one was C. Wilson's Girl We Go Together. Then we have Kennedy B's Iso Brooks, Camille V's Color Me Broken, um, Maya at War with Love, Kay Shawnee, Change of Heart, and number 6, Aubrey J's Genesis. And Genesis was funny. So yeah, those are the 6. There's a video last week. It's something about new authors, whatever the title is, if you want to see what I thought about those. So there are 4 other books that I have not discussed that I read in the month of June. Let's get into that. So first off, we have Till Forever. Till Forever is a part 2 from Natisha Raynor's Till I Say When. Till I Say When is about a young lady who witnesses a crime, and the guy who did the crime blackmails her into being his girlfriend to get under the skin of her ex-boyfriend in order for him not to unalive her. This book has addiction and fertility issues in it. So if those are things that bother you, you may not want to read this book. However, Till Forever is just the follow-up. What are they doing now? And I can't give anything on that book without spoiling it, but I can tell you it's just basically, I don't know what the time period is, but let's just say it's 2 years later or 5 years later. How are they living? And that's what Till Forever is about. It's fairly short. I don't think it's over 100 and something pages. I doubt very seriously it's 200 pages. But if you've read Till I Say When, I think it's likely that you'll enjoy Till Forever. The next book is called My Good Girl by Diamond D. Johnson. This is a 3-book series. I only read one of the, well, I read the first book and then I got into the second book about 3 or 4 chapters. This book is about 3 siblings, 2 girls and 1 boy, who are misused by their parents as children. They wind up going to foster care. Initially, they are all together. At some point, they all get separated. 18 years later, they are coming back together. So the story is about the youngest girl. Her name is Journey. I want to say she was 3, somewhere between 3 and 6 the last time she saw her sibling. And it gets to a point where they are coming back together again. And her missing out on, just having some family has really done a number on her. So she meets this guy who is really nice guy. He's helping bring those walls down, bring her confidence back, and all that good stuff. That is the part of the story that was most interesting to me. But once they start to bring the siblings back in, they start to tell the story of what happened to each one of her other siblings, intertwined with them getting back together. There is very little about the romance between her and the main male character in book 2, and that's kind of why I stopped reading it. I was the portion about the siblings and everything, it was good, but my interest was really in the romance between her and this guy. And so once I got to like chapter 3 or 4, I closed it. And so I don't know if I'll go back. I'm not necessarily interested, but I do love Diamond D. Johnson books. So I don't know. Maybe I will, maybe I won't. Don't know. And the next book is The Streets to the Pulpit by Tatiana Timmons. Now, I initially started trying to read the Zoo Boys series by the first book. I don't remember the name of the book, but I could not get with it. So I put that down. But then I wound up hearing a review from Babes in Library about this one, The Streets to the Pulpit. And I was like, that actually sounds good. So I went ahead and read it. And yes, I know I've said that I'm not going to read books out of order again, but I can't help it if I'm not interested in the other books. I can't help it. Anyway, with this particular story, it is about a young man who is raised by his pastor, preacher, reverend, father. He's a PK. And he, becomes a teenager and does what teenagers do. You tell teenagers, do this or don't do this. And sometimes they do the opposite. I don't feel like he was doing a lot, but I feel like his father was super strict. I don't know if it was because he was a pastor or just because some people don't realize that teenagers are teenagers and they do stuff like that. And so he winds up being on the streets. And when he's on the street, he gets into the streets. And so for this book, I felt like it was really good. I enjoyed the way no matter what he did, he still had his upbringing in him. He still had the Bible in his mind and in his heart, but he had to make decisions between, am I going to do this or am I going to do that? And he knew the consequences between the two, and he made his decision. And every time he made that decision, it kind of pushed him further away from where I feel like he really wanted to be. I think that if he could have, he would have loved to have just been under his father with a longer leash. But, the story doesn't necessarily go like that. He also meets a young lady who he falls for, and um, I think that she has a pretty good influence on him. I'd like to know what happens in the end. I don't know that I'll read any of the other books, but if I do, I'll just start from this one and move forward. I won't go back. But I am curious to see where he winds up at. And then last but not least is that book I was telling you about, and it is called Watercolors by Evelyn Latrice. Now, this book is over 600 pages, so I picked it up and put it down quite a bit. I read it. I read it immersively. I read it audio. I even read some of it on my Kindle. This was a long book. It was, while I was reading it, there were times when I was really into it. There were other times where I was just like, yeah, I don't know. And then I would put it down and pick it back up. So it's about this guy who is a pro swimmer. His name is Wade. Wave is used to getting it right. He's used to everybody cheering him on. He's got the money. He's got the house. He's fine. He got clothes. He got jewelry. Like all of the things. He's got it all. He's not used to nobody telling him no, and he is definitely not okay with being wrong. He meets his daughter for the first time. She comes to live with him at age 16. He doesn't even know he have a daughter. And the same day he meets her at 16, she comes to live with him. The daughter, whose name is Ashley, winds up befriending a neighbor. Now they live in Lynn Beach, which is a bunch of houses surrounding a lake. Huge, beautiful beach houses. Well, lake houses. And she winds up befriending this lady named Lumi. Lumi has just moved to Land Beach. She inherited this huge, I don't know, for in my head, it's like a mansion style lake house from her grandmother. And she has two options: live in it or lose it. There's no in between. So you can't sell it, you can't nobody else live in it. Live in it or lose it. Now, the last time she was at this lake house, it wasn't such a good experience. But due to her current circumstances, she's got to make some decisions. So she winds up moving to the house. She meets Ashley. Her and Ashley build this really, really close bond. And so they go out through the story and like things are happening. And I'm just kind of like, but now, when I get to the end of the book, is when it really hits me, right? Lumi is this person who is really, she's been traumatized. And because of this trauma, she shrinks herself. She is folded into herself. She has decided that I'm not going to do anything too big. I'm not going to laugh too loud. I'm not going to smile too hard. I'm not going to be too happy. I'm not going to hope for nothing. I'm just going to keep it right here. So that way, if things don't work out the way they're supposed to, I wasn't really anticipating nothing good anyway. And so that's kind of how she lives her life. But now she then moved to this huge house. She's got uh Ashley and Wave, who are Ashley is super outgoing. She's like dang near the girl, the Lumi's therapist. But it hit me after. It reminded me of my younger days when I couldn't tell people no. I did things that I didn't want to do because I didn't want to make other people mad. Never mind how I felt about the situation. It was because I didn't want them to either be mad at me, or I didn't want them to be sad or upset. Like my feelings were already secondary to me. And that's what it reminded me of. Now, these are not two separate situations, but it hit me like a ton of bricks. I kid you not. It blew me the heck away once I sat down and thought about this story. A lot of times, um, here is an example, and I know this may sound really, really silly. Um, I was like maybe in the fourth grade, and we were at lunchtime. One of my favorite lunches was the grilled cheese sandwich, and we went to lunch, and by the time lunch was there, we all knew we were having grilled cheese. I was like, yes, I can't wait to get my grilled cheese sandwich. And we got in line, we all sat down. There was this boy named Desmond, and Desmond was one of those kids. You know how you had those really outgoing kids, and he was a boy, and he was really outgoing. I had no, like, even little kids had little crushes. I had absolutely no crush or nothing on him at all. I don't even think I ever really talked to him much or anything. We were in the same class. But I remember we were all sitting down, and all of a sudden he said something to me, but I didn't know what he said. And I was like, no, and he just reached over and grabbed my grilled cheese sandwich. I don't know what my facial expression was like, but my heart sank. I literally said nothing. Now, in my days today, I would have been like, hey, wait a minute. Nah, give me my sandwich back, fool. But back then, I just did not have the words to say, you know, oh no, that's not what I meant. Or I didn't hear what you said. I want my sandwich back. Or like nothing at all, nothing like that. And I know that's probably like a very trivial um, a very trivial example, but I'm saying that for two reasons. Number one, it goes back to me being as young as in the fourth grade, all the way up until, I don't know, maybe somewhere in my 30s. But this book really, really did impact me after the fact. While I was reading it, I was kind of, it's a good book, don't get me wrong, it's definitely a good book, but 600 pages, there were times in the book where I was just like, okay, I'm done for today. Or I'll come back to it later. You know what I'm saying? And it was like a flash. Like, what the heck? A lot of times we are told to, you know, be this way, act this way, talk this way, move this way. You're too loud, you're doing too much, calm down, sit down, be still. All of those different kind of things. And believe me, I know that in different places, in different settings, that, you know, they call for different things. But for the most part, I am me no matter where I go, now, whereas I could not be prior to. And so, yeah, this book had me, kind of looking over my shoulder just to see how far I've come. So that was the 10 books that I've read. Have you ever read a book that seemed like that author wrote that book to you? That was Watercolors for me. I hope you enjoyed the video. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe. Until next time, see you soon.